Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the stories that have shaped our understanding of the world. Today, we're exploring a timeless classic, a tale that has echoed through centuries, teaching a lesson as relevant now as it was thousands of years ago. We're talking about the fable of the lion and the fox. Now, you might think you know this story. A powerful lion, a clever fox. But like all great fables, its true wisdom lies beneath the surface. It's not just a children's story. It's a profound commentary on power, wisdom, and the nature of evidence. So, let's set the scene. Imagine a dense, ancient forest, a kingdom ruled by the undisputed king of the beasts, the lion. In his prime, his roar would shake the very leaves on the trees, and every creature knew to respect his might. But time, as it does for all, had begun to take its toll. The lion grew old, his mighty limbs grew stiff, and the explosive speed he once used to hunt his prey had faded. He could no longer chase down the swift deer or the nimble gazelle. Hunger began to gnaw at his belly, but the lion was not just strong, he was cunning. He knew that if he couldn't bring himself to the food, he would have to bring the food to him. So, he devised a plan. He retreated deep into his dark, cool cave and let out a series of weak, pained groans. He made sure the news spread throughout the forest the great king was terribly ill, perhaps on his deathbed. One by one, the animals of the forest heard the news. Filled with concern and a sense of duty, they began to make their way to the lion's den to pay their respects. A gentle sheep, a well-meaning goat, a curious wild boar, they all approached the cave entrance, their hearts heavy with sympathy for their ailing king. They would cautiously step inside to offer their condolences, but none of them ever came back out. Inside the cave, the lion, feigning sickness, would wait for his unsuspecting visitors to get close, and then, with a final burst of his remaining strength, he would pounce. His plan was working perfectly. For a while, the lion feasted. His den became a grim, silent testament to his cruel deception. The other animals were none the wiser, still believing their friends and neighbors were simply staying to comfort their dying king. But there was one creature in the forest who was known not for his strength, but for his sharp mind and keen observation, the fox. The fox was clever, cautious, and always aware of his surroundings. He, too, heard the news of the lion's illness and felt he should pay a visit. But as he approached the den, something made him pause. He didn't rush in like the others. Instead, he stayed at a safe distance, his sharp eyes scanning the ground around the cave entrance. The lion, peering from the shadows of his den, saw the fox lingering outside. Putting on his weakest, most pathetic voice, he called out, "Ah, my dear fox, is that you? Why do you not come inside and comfort your old king in his final moments? Come closer, my friend. Let us speak." The fox, still keeping his distance, bowed his head respectfully. "Your Majesty," he replied, his voice clear and steady, "I would be honored to come in and pay my respects. I truly would, but I find myself a bit concerned by something I've noticed here." The lion, annoyed but trying to hide it, asked, "Concerned? Concerned about what, my clever friend?" The fox pointed a slender paw toward the dusty ground in front of the cave. "Well, Your Majesty," he said, "I see many sets of footprints leading into your den. The tracks of the sheep, the goat, the boar, and so many others. They all point in one direction, inward. But I have looked very carefully, and I cannot find a single set of footprints pointing back out." A heavy silence fell over the clearing. The lion had no answer. His cunning plan had been exposed by the fox's simple, undeniable logic. The fox had seen the evidence, or rather, the lack of it. He understood that while it's easy to get into a dangerous situation, it's often much harder to get out. With another polite bow, the fox turned and trotted away, leaving the lion alone in his den, his cruel trick revealed. The fox went on to warn the other animals, and the lion's deceitful feast came to an abrupt end. So, What's the real takeaway here? This ancient story, often attributed to Aesop, is a masterclass in critical thinking. The fox embodies the virtue of prudence and the importance of looking for evidence before taking action. He teaches us to be observant, to question what we see and hear, and not to blindly follow the crowd. Think about it in our modern lives. How often are we presented with situations that seem appealing on the surface? A get-rich-quick scheme, a deal that seems too good to be true, or even just social pressure to follow a certain trend. We see all the footprints leading and all the people who are supposedly succeeding, all the positive testimonials, all the hype. It's so easy to get swept up and want to join in. But the wisdom of the fox encourages us to pause and look for the other side of the story. Where are the footprints leading out? Are people actually achieving the promised results? What are the risks? What's the downside that no one is talking about? The lion represents a different kind of danger. He is the alluring trap, the deceptive promise. He uses his authority and the sympathy of others to lure them into a situation where they have no escape. This isn't just about literal danger. It can be about financial commitments, career choices, or even relationships where the entry is easy, but the exit is painful and costly. The fox's method is beautifully simple. He relies on empirical evidence. He doesn't rely on rumors or the lion's own words. He trusts what he can see with his own eyes. I see many tracks going in, but none coming out. It's a powerful statement about the value of skepticism, not cynicism, but a healthy skepticism that demands proof. This fable reminds us to be the fox in our own lives. When faced with a major decision, take a moment to stand back from the entrance of the cave. Look at the tracks. Don't just listen to the enticing calls from within. Do your own research. Talk to people who have been there. Look for the evidence of both success and failure, of entry and exit. True wisdom isn't about being the strongest or the most powerful, like the lion. It's about being the most observant and the most discerning, like the fox. It's about understanding that the smartest move is often the one you don't make, based on the evidence you've carefully gathered. So the next time you feel pressured to jump into something new, remember the fox at the lion's den. Ask yourself, where are the footprints leading out? It's a simple question, but it just might save you from a whole lot of trouble. It's a lesson that has stood the test of time for a reason, a piece of ancient wisdom that's more valuable than ever in our complex, fast-paced world. Thank you so much for joining me today to explore this wonderful fable. What are your thoughts on the lion and the fox? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story and the lessons within it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next journey into the world of timeless tales. Until next time, stay wise and keep observing.